Hello, internet. I'm me, and because my because YouTube is really starting to fuck with me. I'm just gonna make this a quick review of Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger episode 35. There's a lot to talk about here, but YouTube's YouTube's cutting my videos down, so guess I might have to just run through this real quick. This episode starts off with Bomper from the Go Ojan series coming in and crashing into the Gokaiger. They meet Bomper. Guy, of course, immediately recognizes Bomper, and Bomper quickly explains to the Gokaiger the concept of the 11 realities, all based on top of each other, from the engine world, the human world, and the gun samurai and Christmas world. That's only five, but there are six more. And I always thought that if ever a Kamen Rider versus Super Sentai ever arrived, other than Kamen Rider Decade in Super Sentai world, in Shinkenja world, I would have thought that the Go Ojan would have contributed some way of doing the Kamen Rider Super Sentai crossover. But anyway, yeah, talks about this and tells them to bring her to Sosuke, or the Goon Red. And he comes in and he's like, okay, cool. Hi, Bumper, what's up? And of course, Bumper like, help, an old enemy has come back and taken over Gun World and defeated the engines, who are now like tiny, that went from giant robots to tiny little toys. And so of course they all go over there, and there's a part where Captain Marvelous is like, why should we go, we're pirates, we don't care what's in it for us, and we all know that's bullshit, so they just go anyway. They go into the gun world and they fight. They fight the old Go Ojan henchman, who looks silly in comparison to the new henchman, which which kind of is funny because you think the Gomins are kind of stupid, but I mean when you see a Gomin, they're like real official, just like marching. And while you look at the Go Ojan old henchman, they're going, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, they're silly. They're silly. So yeah, that was actually a funny little comparison. Like the show was going, oh hey, don't you remember those old henchmen? You think the new henchmen are silly? Remember the old ones? And it's just like a very clever little thing. And of course, in this fight, we get to see Battle Fever J, and it's a really cool Sentai that I really like because, well, it's based off of Marvel Comics. It's silly, but I mean, it owns silly. It owns its silliness, and it's just like you got to give props to it for that. And of course, they fight, and then they go to the bar. They find the engines, and they go to a bar. You know, they start talking, getting information out of the engines about what happened and what's going on, and they find out that two of the engines have a son who is a douchebag, but in a badass fashion. And if you know anything, or if you've read the promos for this episode, in any Japanese entertainment magazines, you know that the son is actually going to be the ultimate power that the Super Sentai get. They're going to be able to ride on him like the Gao Lion, and then actually join like parts onto the Gokai Galleon, or the Gokaio, just like Gao Lion, with the Shinkenger power. But of course, this one's going to be on its own, I think. And so they figure that out, and they fight the old enemy, which really isn't significant, really, except for to get them there, which is kind of that bad, but it's a really cool fight, so I can't complain. And of course, they fight, they win, but on trying to get back home, the wormhole closes. Why? Because an old enemy that you will recognize. I'm sorry, it's hard to fucking not recognize. He's from I keep forgetting his name, but he is the villain from Shinkenger versus Go Ojan, the movie, and he comes back somehow. I don't know, he died last time, so I don't know how the hell he's here, but whatever, fuck it. They brought back the guy from fucking the Geki Ranger versus Bokenger episode movie, so why not? Uh, So he's back, and he actually traps them in the gun world dimension. Now we're all questioning how are they going to get out of this, and of course this is a two-parter episode, so we're gonna have to wait until next week to figure it out. But this episode is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Not perfect, but not bad either. This episode is really good, and it's just those little things like the whole, oh, we're still pirates and we don't, we're gonna have a stiff upper lip. And I'm just like, come the fuck on, just get in the portal. and um, and of course, the one thing I'm kind of getting sick of is seeing the same final moves. Now I know this is Super Sentai we're talking about here, but I mean, come on. There's only so many times you can see the Hurricaneger finisher or the Gokai Galleon Blaster until it gets old. And I mean, the final wave didn't get old because you could variation it like the gun and sword, sword and sword, bullets and bullets. Or so that always kept it fresh in my mind. So you could always just change up the how it's used. But with this Gokai, the Rising Strike, not so much, and it kind of makes it a little bland, and it's slower. So I'm just like, dude, can we go back to the final wave, please? And I mean, Gokai Silver does not use the gold mode unless he's finishing someone off, which I wish would change, and probably will later on. But come on, do we? I mean, come on, give him something better to do with that gold mode, even though it does look quite silly. But other than that, those are my quips and those are my props to this episode. It's a very good episode, and I suggest you guys go out and see it before the next episode because it actually does establish some things, unlike Kamen Rider Forzen episode 7. So go watch this episode, have fun with it. It's subbed in the description box, so have fun with that. And I'm sorry if you guys have already watched this video. YouTube is being a bastard to me, so yeah, I had to upload it twice. Well, until next time, y'all. Peace.